Today's American Story with Bob Dotson comes from the home of a man who would be our king had George Washington decided to take that title instead of the title of president. Could have happened. After all, Washington was asked.
Some of George Washington's soldiers offered him a throne. He thought His Majesty the President might be nice, but turned them down.
Order? Bow!
Suppose he had wanted a monarchy. One of the faces on Mount Rushmore would be wearing a crown.
For a century now, history buffs have been researching what if. But it took the creation of the internet to trace all of Washington's family tree. The father of our country had no kids of his own, but his two brothers did, and today they have 8,000 descendants.
If a crown had passed down from his two older brothers to their oldest sons, in both cases, it would come to rest in this Burger King.
I wonder what the king is doing tonight.
Hi, welcome to Burger King. May I help you?
Our ninth and current king would be Paul Washington I of San Antonio, Texas.
Did you want that king size?
King size, that's great.
The 82-year-old used to manage a building supply company based, where else? Valley Forge.
All of us think at one time or another, boy, if I were king for a day, this is how I'd change things. What would you do?
Abdicate. Get out of it.
His son, Dick Washington, would be next in line. Back in the 1970s, Dick sold clothes at the Chess King.
Hello.
Dick's brother, Bill Washington, would be our Prince William.
He does look like George Washington.
Just not as tall.
For love of little women, we've lost our height over the years.
Bill's nephew, Connor Washington, would lead the next generation.
His hair looks a lot like that dollar bill.
Then his hair will be green.
His hair would be green?
Yeah.
Well, you're right.
Who wouldn't want to be king or prince, at least for a day?
If you were a royal family, would you be plotting to put your brother Dick up in the water tower?
I would have overthrown the king and taken control probably, so.
Until dinner time, Connor rules the kitchen.
You still have your teeth.
No, I have false teeth.
Just like the father of our country, who lost his cracking Brazil nuts. Fewer than 150 would-be royal families still retain the name Washington.
My daddy hated it. His name was George.
But Bill loves all things George.
And my wife gave me the whole upstairs for my collection.
What's this?
This is a talking George Washington action figure.
Cultivate peace and harmony with all.
And see, they even captured his voice.
A voice so powerful, he could have been king, but gave it up.
Here's Uncle George.
And that changed the world. For today, Bob Dotson, NBC News, with an American Story in San Antonio, Texas.